Hello everyone, in today's session we are going to discuss spotting errors, theory part 13. Let's begin. First of all, the index, introduction of voice, how to change active voice into passive voice, miscellaneous sentences, un-English and superfluous expressions, unnecessary wordiness. So in this index you will find these things. I hope you have understood. Read the disclaimer. The images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Voice. First of all, read the definition to understand. Voice is the form of a verb which shows whether the subject does something or has something done to it. So what you have understood by reading the definition is that if you use active voice where the subject does something, and if you use passive voice, something has done to the subject. I hope you have understood. A verb is in the active voice when its form shows that the subject does something again. A verb is in the passive voice when its form shows that something is done to the subject. So there are two types of voices. I hope you have understood. How to change active voice into passive voice. Make the object of the active voice subject to the passive voice. So you have to change the object as a subject of the passive voice. Example, I write a letter, which is an active voice sentence. Object of active voice is a letter. It becomes the subject of the passive voice, a letter. Make the subject of the active voice agent of the passive voice. The agent will be in the objective form, used by before it. By is used when the subject of active voice is important to mention. So we need to use by when the subject is important to mention. Subject of active voice is I. Its objective form is me. So by me. So you have to use objective forms. Always use third form of the verb, which is past participle in passive structures. The past participle V3, which means the third form of the verb, the past participle, will be preceded by to be form of the verb as per the tense of the sentence. So what you have understood that you need to use be plus V3 while making a passive construction. Please take care that to be form of the verb is governed by the new subject to the passive voice. Example, I write a letter, which is an active voice, and we have changed this active voice into passive voice. As it is mentioned, a letter is written by me. So what we have done here, that the object, a letter, has become a subject in the passive voice. This is an object and this has become the subject in passive voice. And other changes are, we have used me as an objective case after by. Me came from I. I was a subject in active voice and me is an object of by preposition. And we have changed the verb as well by putting be, which means is, and the third form written here. I hope you have understood. Another sentence is, she is helping the students, which is an active voice, and we have changed from active to passive by writing the students are being helped by her. So this change is done according to the tense as well, because in the active voice, in the second sentence, we have used present continuous tense. So the same tense will be applied in the passive voice. I hope you have understood. Here in sentence B, plural verb are is used as per the new subject, students, because the students is plural. That's why we have used are instead of is. I hope you have understood. How to change active voice into passive voice. Change of subject of active voice into object of passive is done as per following table. From active to passive voice, we need some changes. I is the subject and it will be changed into me in passive voice. She is the subject in active voice, it will be changed into her in passive voice. Next, he, which is a masculine gender and denotes a masculine gender, will be changed into him in passive voice. They will be changed into them in passive voice. You will be changed into you in passive voice. It will be changed into it in passive voice. We will be changed into us in passive voice. And who will be changed into whom in passive voice. I hope you have understood. Only transitive verbs, those take objects, can be transformed into passive constructions. So we can only use transitive verbs to form passive voice because transitive verbs have objects. Furthermore, active structures containing certain verbs cannot be transformed into passive structures. To have is the most important of these verbs. We can say he has a new cycle, but we cannot say a new cycle is had by him because has here is an intransitive verb which does not have any object. So it can't be formed into passive structure. Here is a brief list of such verbs are resemble, look like, equal, agree with, mean, contain, whole, comprise, lack, suit, fit, become. All these verbs are intransitive in nature. So you have to remember these verbs because these verbs can't be used to form a passive voice. Sentence in present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous, future continuous can't be transformed into passive. So we can't use present perfect continuous, past perfect, future perfect continuous, and future continuous to make passive voice. How to change active voice into passive voice? The change of verbs tense-wise take place as per following table. We have to change according to the tense used in the active voice. So the headings are tense, active to passive, to be form plus V3. So if you find simple present, as an example, we have taken a verb write, or the singular form of the write is writes. In the passive form, when we use third form, M is R are preceded by written, or the third form, any third form. Simple past wrote, to was were, to written. Simple future, shall or will write, will be shall be or will be written. Present continuous, is MR writing, will be changed into is MR being written. Past continuous, was I were writing, will be changed into was were being written. Present perfect, has have written, will be changed into has have been written. Past perfect, had written, will be changed into had been written. Future perfect, will shall have written, will be changed into will shall have been written. I hope you have understood the table. Miscellaneous sentences. Passive of verb showing state of mind or feelings. Some verbs do not express any action but simply state of mind or feelings. So we'll find some verbs which do not express actions. Instead, they express state of mind and feelings. So we should not use by in passive structures of such sentences. Instead, an appropriate preposition is used. Active to passive. There is a sentence, I know her. Know is a state verb and it will be changed into she is known to me. The preposition to will be used instead of by. The next one is he annoyed her. It will be changed into she was annoyed with him. The preposition with will be used here. Her behavior annoyed him. He was annoyed at her behavior. Preposition at will be used here instead of by. The news surprised all. All were surprised at the news. Preposition at here is used instead of by. The result amazed me. It will be changed into I was amazed at the result. Again, the preposition at is used here instead of by. I hope you've understood. Miscellaneous sentences. Passive of verbs with appropriate prepositions. Some verbs take preposition before an object. The preposition remains intact even in passive construction. So you need to change the preposition. It will be there in passive construction as well. From active to passive. Look at the sentences. The first one is, he laughed at me. It will be changed into, I was laughed at by him. So we haven't removed the preposition at, which was used in the active voice laughed. The police is inquiring into the matter. The matter is being inquired into by the police. So again, we haven't removed the preposition into, which is used with inquire in the active voice. Sita smiled at Ram. Ram was smiled at by Sita. He looks after his parents. The change will be his parents are looked after by him. Rahim mocked at our class teacher. Our class teacher was mocked at by Rahim. So such commonly used verbs are look at, look after, laugh at, smile at, deride at, mock at. So while using these verbs to form passive voice, do not remove the prepositions used with these verbs. I hope you have understood. Un-English and superfluous expressions. The word females is often misused for women. The word female actually indicates sex. A human being belongs either to male or the female. It is incorrect to say the females of this village. Instead, we should say the women of this village. So do not use females, use women. Let's move to with a view to. It must be noted that with a view to is always followed by a gerund. So we always need to use a gerund with a view to. He has called a meeting of all parties tomorrow with a view to forming a national reconciliation government. I hope you have understood. Let's move to hope. Hope implies a happy news or some favorable anticipation. The following use of hope is wrong. Example, I hope to get fever today. In place of this, we should say, I fear I am going to have fever today. Addicted to. It is always used in a bad sense. It is never used in a good sense. We can never say he is addicted to singing, as he is addicted to gambling, or he is addicted to drink. Alright. These words should always be written as two separate words and never as alright. Etc. stands for etc., meaning and other things. If you want to begin with and, you must not end with etc. You must say and so on. It is wrong to use statement like this. Many kinds of fruits grow in Kashmir, such as apples, peaches, plums, pears, etc. You may use either of these forms. Many kinds of fruits such as apples, peaches, plums, and pears grow in Kashmir. Or you can use many kinds of fruits, apple, peaches, plums, pear, etc. grow in Kashmir. I hope you have understood. Un-English and superfluous expressions. As follows. The verb is invariable in number. Never as follow. His argument is as follows. The rules and regulations are as follows. So do not use as follow. Use as follows instead. Broadcast. We never say broadcasted. There are some certain verbs which are not formed by adding ed. One of them is broadcast. Sonia's speech was broadcast, not broadcasted, from the national channel. It is incorrect to say that a ship swims. A ship sails or floats. So do not say swims. Man and animal swim. Also do not say a ship is drawn. Say a ship sinks. Man and animal sinks aren't drawn. Use of half. Half of them is or are. The rule is that when the noun or pronoun following off is singular, half is considered singular. If half of a piece is genuine antique, then it is difficult to dismiss it's a fake. When the noun or pronoun following of is plural, half is considered plural. Half of the oranges were rotten. So of follows oranges, which is a plural noun. That's why we have used a plural verb with half. The same rule also applies to lots of and heaps of. I hope you have understood. Let's move to reason. At least 3 warnings are necessary in connection with the word reason. Example, the reason is because is a type of tautological expression that defines both grammar and logic. The correct expression is the reason why, etc. is that that introducing a noun clause as complement of the verb is. So the correct construction is the reason is that, not the reason is because. Because of that reason, a near relative of the error dealt with under one. You act not because of but for a reason. Reason itself indicate cause. I hope you have understood. The reason for the increase may be attributed to the rapid development of science during the past 2 centuries. The increase may be attributed not the reason. The reason is the rapid development. In all 3 types of sentence cited, the trouble arises from a confusion of ideas that leads to a double statement of cause adapted. I hope you have understood. Un-English and superfluous expressions. It is a blunder to say that a man is good in health. The correct expression is in good health. If in case must be carefully distinguished from if, it must not be used as equivalent to if. I shall take my umbrella in case it rains is perfectly correct. But I shall take my umbrella if it rains does not convey the same meaning. It is different meaning. It conveys that the rain will happen earlier than I take an umbrella. What to speak of is commonly used by Indian students for not to mention of or not to speak of. They would say what to speak of salad and sweets. She had no bread even, or she can hardly rise from the bed. What to speak of walking? The correct expression is she had no bread, even not to mention of salad and sweets. She can hardly rise from bed, not to speak of walking. To eat one's food is an un-English expression very commonly used by Indian students. We should not say I have eaten my food. An Englishman always specifies the food or meal. He would say I have had my lunch or dinner. Rather and very should not be used together. They do not strengthen each other. Actually, they cancel each other out. Rather means not very, a little, or somewhat. He was rather very happy. This is meaningless. Comparative and better should not be used together. Better is itself as an adjective of comparative degree. Do not say he is comparatively better. Say either he is comparatively good or he is better. I hope you have understood. Pass off often we hear. These days, pass off happily. But it is incorrect. When we speak of a thing passes off means something remains behind or takes its place. Illness passes off and leaves health. An event passes off and we resume our routine. But we cannot say that the time or of a period passes off. It is sufficient to say it passes or it passes away. I hope you have understood. Un-English and superfluous expressions. Generally and always are contrary to each other, as generally means usually but not always in the sentence. He always comes late generally. We should have either generally or always. Fair sex. The expression fair sex is frequently used by Indian writers as an equivalent of for women. It is no doubt much used colloquially, but it is not allowed as such in series writings. Lately and laterly. The distinction between these two words, though they are sometimes interchangeable, should be understood well. Lately means recently. Without any suggestion, as to a previous state of thing. Latterly also means recently, but it expresses comparison and suggests a change in situation or state of things. You can use latterly to indicate that the situation or event is the most recent one. Have you talked to her lately? He was to remain active in the association, latterly as vice president for the rest of his life. Of a single individual act, we should use lately and not latterly because no comparison is involved. I hope you have understood. Un-English and superfluous expressions. Another, any other, another. Another is used with singular nouns, another with plural ones. Both are used in affirmative sentences or statements, but any other is normally used in negative statements and with nouns in either number. Note the following common errors. Incorrect to correct. Take a visit. Take a visit is incorrect. Say pay a visit. Put a liberty. Say set a liberty. Put a thing to test. Say put a thing to the test. Make an injury to a person. Say do an injury to a person. The work is in the hand. Say the work is in hand. It's probable to happen. Say it's probable that it will happen. Please do the needful. Say please do what is necessary. He is a boy of 7 years old. Say he is a boy 7 years old. He disposed it of. Say he disposed of it. I had been to Delhi last week. Say I went to Delhi last week. I hope you have understood the correct expressions. Un-English and superfluous expressions. Incorrect to correct. Do you know swimming? The correct expression is do you know how to swim? When do you take to your bed? The correct one is when do you go to bed? We go for walking. The correct one is we are going for a walk. They played fairly. The correct one is they played fair. The rose smells sweetly. The correct one is the rose smells sweet. I am very much tired after my walk. The correct one is I am very tired after my walk. I am very much pleased to see you. The correct one is I am very pleased to see you. To give key to the watch. The correct one is to wind up the watch. I hope you've understood. Unnecessary wordiness. Cousin brother, cousin sister brother, sister should not be used together with cousin. It is an example of superfluous expression. Ramesh is my cousin. Sarla is my cousin. So do not use cousin brother and cousin sister. Consensus. Opinion. Here, opinion is superfluous. Consensus means collective opinion. Consort husband. Consort wife. Here husband, wife is superfluous. Consort means husband or wife, especially of a ruler. Supposing if is superfluous. During the period of war or during the war period. The correct phrase is during the war. Return back. The use of back is superfluous. Return means go or come back. So do not use back with it. Reimburse back. The use of back is superfluous again. Reimburse means pay back. So do not use back with it. Retreat back. Use of back is superfluous. Retreat means go back. So do not use back with it. Recede back. Use of back is superfluous. Recede means go back. So do not use back with it. Recall back. Use of back is superfluous again. Recall means summon back or take back. So do not use back with it. Recapitulate back. Use of back is superfluous. Recapitulate means repeat. So do not use back with it. Recast back. Use of back is superfluous. Recast means rewrite. Reborn, rebuild, regain, recall, again. Use of again is superfluous. Reborn means born again. So do not use back with these words. I hope you have understood. Unnecessary wordiness. Equally as good as either. Use equally or as good as. Both denote same meaning. So do not use equally as good as. Use equally or as good as. Mutual agreement. Use of mutual is superfluous. Agreement is always mutual. Mutual friend, interest. The correct phrase is common friend or interest. Await for, use of, for is superfluous. Await means wait for. Comprise of. Of is superfluous. Comprise means consist of. So use of with consist, not with comprise. Despite of is superfluous. Despite means in spite of. Use in spite of or use despite. Two twins, use of two is superfluous. Twins means two children, so do not use two with it. Coward man, man is superfluous. Coward means a cowardly man. Flee away, away is superfluous. Flee means run away, so do not use away with it. With bag and baggage, use of with is superfluous. Bag and baggage means with all belongings. An English teacher, the correct phrase is teacher of English. An English teacher means a teacher who likes in England. Passing mass, linking road, linking language. The correct phrase is pass marks, link road, and link language. Spouse husband, wife is superfluous. Someone's spouse is the person they are married to. Kindly requested. It is wrong to use kindly and requested together. Request is always kindly. So I hope you've understood all the necessary wordiness. Use them correctly in your writing. I hope you understood the session. Till then, thank you.